As we talk about the needs of customers, we look at value chains, we find an opportunity to see a place where we might participate, a niche that may be open for us as an entrepreneur, that, hey, if we could provide that service, we could provide that product at this location and in this marketplace, that's exactly where we want to be. Those are all learnings that we've had so far, and we've brought our students up to understanding that level and that point at this time. But now we're going to break over into a little bit more of a sophisticated approach, but one that can be very easily understood, and that is the idea of market segmentation. Recently, I was doing a marketplace literacy program for a group of individuals that were looking to create green industries. These are landscapers, people who are interested in urban agriculture and food production. And we were asking the question, well, who's your market? Who do you intend to sell to? And one of our students was very excited, raised his hands and said, I want to sell to everybody. Well, wouldn't that be great if everybody would love our product? But in reality, that's not what we're looking for. In our day and time, we need to be very, very, very focused on who our customer is. Who do we intend to sell to? Only by narrowing the focus of who we're selling to can we actually really define the product or the service that we intend to make. So often we get the cart in front of the horse. Oh, look, I have this wonderful product that I'm wanting to sell. Now, where's my customer? Actually, it's the other way around. I've identified a need, a deficit in what's being supplied to a group of customers. And now I ask myself, how can I create a product that will meet that need? In doing so, I've almost assured myself of sales, because if I've identified that deficit, without question, those consumers are going to want what I have to offer. And without having to go to too much effort or overly marketing the product, I can get my product sold to that group of people. Why? They need it, they want it, and I know they do. A number of times I've worked with the business community and upstarts that think that, well, the business I want to get into is a restaurant. I want to get in the food business. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, Grandma's fried chicken recipe or her meatloaf recipe was the best in the world, and it just tastes so great. And I know if I can just make Grandma's fried chicken or Grandma's meatloaf recipe, that people will flock to my door. No, my friends, I'm afraid not. I've seen more often than not people going into business with that attitude, not succeeding, not being successful. The way to be successful, to ensure that you can be successful more often than not, is to do a very deep examination of the needs within a targeted, segmented market. Finding ways to meet those needs and then expanding out to identify more and more markets that have needs that have not been met, that you can expand your business into. This is why within the marketplace literacy material, we spend a great deal of time examining these ideas. How can we take a backpack, and this is one of the examples in the material, and how would we market that backpack? Who are we going to sell it to? Who's it designed for? What's the very, very narrow market who would be interested in that particular backpack, and how can we sell it to them? If you'll spend the time and the effort to really get your students aware of this idea of market segmentation, it will be to their benefit, because they'll have a much deeper understanding of what it takes to create a product or a service in an entrepreneurial way, and can have a much higher rate of success rather than just trying to sell to anyone who walks up in any place they choose. All right, that's a deep dive into that subject. Let's take a look at the next article.